This is Motorsport Radio.
Now on Motorsport Radio, ahead of the annual Ferrari Racing Days event, this weekend at Silverstone, we're chatting with Peter Hall, the founder of the company 8six400, one of the upcoming British-based motorsport apparel brands working with Ferrari and the Ferrari Hypercar Endurance Racing Team. Hello, Peter. How are you?
Good afternoon. Thank you for having me.
So yeah, it is, as we say, we're talking just ahead of the annual brilliant, I suppose, Ferrari festival, really. The Ferrari Racing Days weekend, this weekend at Silverstone. And it's fantastic if you're a Ferrari fan.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Ferrari F1 coming back to Monza, it's all over social. Their new team kits that they've been presented with, race suits, even the new livery. But the Ferrari Challenge coming to Silverstone. It's going to be a very red weekend. So it's quite exciting for us to kind of pitch up there, say hello to the team again. It's been a few weeks since we've seen them. So yeah, it's hopefully the weather holds at Silverstone and we'll have some fun.
It's there's going to be a lot of obviously a lot of Ferraris there, but a lot of people don't always realise that there's Ferrari Formula One cars also doing a few laps as well. The F1 Clienti, always a big draw, especially if not just if you're a big Formula One fan, but really it's just great to hear those amazing engines thundering around Silverstone, isn't it?
I'm actually going tomorrow. I don't for the rest of the weekend. I don't know exactly which F1 cars are there, but there'll be some pretty amazing spectacles for sure. And to hear those old noises, I'm actually taking my son as well, so I think he's going to be a little bit surprised by just how loud these old F1 cars are.
Well, what's the connection with 8six400 with Ferrari? What is your involvement with them this year in the Ferrari Hypercar Racing Team? So
8six400 is essentially it was born at Le Mans a couple of years ago. It was very specifically we did that. We launched it with United Autosport, and the year after that we did some work with Jota, and then we started a conversation with an introduction to Ferrari about the Le Mans Hypercar program. And one of the big aspects about 8six400 is all about sustainability. Well, how we make what we make and what it's made from. That was a very big interest to Ferrari, because they were looking to sort of pick up on the sort of the textiles and recycled plastic side of things. And we entered into a conversation with them about being an official partner, of which we concluded that deal in December last year. And our first remit was to deliver the team kit for Le Mans, which is obviously the big race in the WEC Endurance Series.
Yeah, we're just having a look at some of that apparel and team kit. And you mentioned sustainability as well, something that Ferrari are quite big on.
Yeah, to be honest, I was a bit surprised. I've been beating the sustainability drum for a while now in motor racing, working with some teams, drivers on various projects. Ferrari to come along and make it such an important aspect of what they do, to be honest, was a little bit of a surprise. But it's not when you start to understand what they're all about. They want to be first in absolutely everything, and to be the first team that drives sustainability message is kind of, I guess, hopefully what they want to be all about. Hence why they're working with us. So yeah, it's an interesting journey for the last 7 months for sure.
Yeah, so the company I mentioned is a British-based company. It's relatively new, isn't it, Peter?
Yeah, although we've been in textiles manufacturing design for a long time, the actual brand is only 2 years old, and so but yeah, it's exciting to sort of be able to build a brand alongside Ferrari. I mean, it's for me as a race fan, it's a dream come true. I do pinch myself most mornings and still think, okay, we're working with Ferrari. but it is enabling us to actually drive that sustainability message as well, about what the clothing is made from, how it's made, and what sort of positive environmental impact each kind of product makes as well. And it's quite exciting with some of the products. You got some caps up there, made from ocean plastic. We've got jackets using recycled oyster shells in their filling. But we also have to deliver a quality product as well. It is Ferrari, and therefore the standard has to be met. And I kind of hope that we've kind of delivered that.
Yeah, for the average fan, I'll be honest, Peter, when we're buying merch, whether or not it's sustainable or not, it's not traditionally been a big priority on people's shopping list. No, but the message is growing, isn't it? It's to
Absolutely. I think we're all fully aware of the sustainable messages that get thrown at us every day. The plastic issues, the textile issues, even the carbon footprints, the fuel emissions, all of these sorts of things. It's about how I think motorsport is even if you want to talk motorsport in general, but an F1 is there to drive the technology and set an example to the rest of the world. They want to, and this is, we have a niche in the sense that we're involved in the textile side of things. So yeah, for the average fan, is it important? I think we found to the younger fans generally, it is important to them to have a piece of merch that actually is made from recycled waste. It's quite an exciting venture for them as well. To the older generations, I can see how it's not completely relevant, but actually, if we are going to make changes in this world, then brands like Ferrari are going to lead the way. And they have done that through our own sort of vehicle of our own brand with our own manufacturing.
Yeah, it certainly sounds cool, if nothing else. And like you say, it's making more people aware of what can be done and the technologies used. And it's not something of the future. It is right now. And companies like yours, fledgling, growing British-based companies like yours, are making a good go of it and actually using that sustainability message to literally make connections with the biggest brand in the world, Ferrari.
Reality is that if can it be done? Yes, we've demonstrated that. Should it be done? Why not? If you can, why not do it? I understand margins, I understand costs, I understand all of that sort of stuff. But there is another bigger message out there. If we're not doing it, then we should be. The easiest way to look at it really for us is take our caps as an example, made from 65% recycled plastic, ocean plastic, where one cap equates to 8 recycled plastic bottles. Scale that up to 100,000 caps, and which is not a lot in motor racing terms, so to speak. That equates to something like 17 tons of waste removed from the ocean. So you can start to understand now, just with one cap, what sort of positive environmental impact that can actually make, and if you can do it, why not? So it's again, this is about motorsport to love delivering, the sustainability messaging, how they can. And I think obviously emissions and fuels and carbon footprints is always all like the bigger message in motor racing, but textiles is such a big aspect to it as well. The teamwear, the merchandise, it is huge. So it's for Ferrari to kind of be leading this way is, I think, a big message to the motorsport world.
Yeah, you make a good point. Not everyone necessarily thinks of, sustainability in motorsport. Not everyone always thinks of like the branding and the merch that people wear. And, it might be a case of people thinking, okay, well, some companies don't print on paper, it's all email. But like you say, there is a lot going on behind the scenes. Everyone wears branded clothing. We're wearing branded clothing right now. Yeah. And if it can be sourced sustainably and from a better place, if that's from a growing ambitious British company like 8six400, then yeah, why not do it? So just talking a bit about you as well, Peter, your history in motorsport personally. How did you first become involved, and what have you been up to?
I first came involved through my father, who was, he motorsport fan, loved his rally. I kind of got the hook from him, I would say. I kind of first got in motor racing in strange ways. I kind of started off with photography. I kind of found myself in unique places and kind of was like taking some pictures, and then I started to talk a little bit more to people, and I got into the sponsorship side of things. Finding money for race teams to go and do what they do. But I was working with people like Aston Martin Racing, doing stuff with them, some of the drivers there, working with other teams around the paddocks and stuff. But I very quickly got into design, which is, I would say, probably putting my degree to some use, I suppose. And I was kind of had a very clear picture in my mind of better looking teamwear, and actually looking at merchandise lines as well, and how you make money out of all of this sort of stuff. This is going back nearly 20 years ago, of which I had some successes in the sense of designing the Williams F1 team kit when Martini came on board.
Nice.
Which is great. I've done some other pieces in and around F1 as well, but I had it was all about the aesthetics. It was all about better made, but actually looking at creditable merchandise lines as well. And of course, my business was about design and supply. And then I was kind of kept getting told you should really start your own brand, and that's where 8six400 came about. Of course, along that journey were a lot of mistakes, a lot of learning, but I think that all piled up to kind of be able to deliver 8six400 and ultimately this partnership with Ferrari.
And the name 8six400 as well, Peter, where did that come from? I mean, what does it actually stand for, if anything?
Well, when I was choosing the brand name, I mean, it's not as easy as people think, just coming up with a name in motorsport, to be honest with you. It's fairly unusual to have a brand named after numbers, I suppose. But 8six400 is the number of seconds in 24 hours, 86,400 seconds. Hence why I was quite particular that it get launched at Le Mans. And but it really is every second counts to hopefully go towards winning. But actually it has an environmental connotation as well, which is every second counts to making this world a better place.
So just staying with your personal experiences of motorsport then, Peter, what are your some of your best memories of Le Mans? I mean, how long have you been sort of following, like most of us have, since we can remember when we were kids? But for you, what are some of your best memories of the actual big race itself?
I mean, I remember watching the Le Mans film, Steve McQueen, from quite an early age. I think the cinematography, the views, the camera angles of all of that film captured really kind of stayed with me. It still has, actually, so it's I was only watching the Man in Le Mans last night, as I do. But I mean, it's quite, say, this journey, not just the last 7 months, but over maybe the last 6 years. And I think it was 2018 where I was with a buddy of mine, Stephen. We decided to go to Le Mans. We were sleeping in our cars. We bought our tickets. We went in. And it's kind of, we were spectators, just general fans, really. Stephen knew someone, I think, with one of the mechanics in the team at Rebellion or something. We managed to get sort of 15 minutes to kind of go into the garages and then we got politely booted out. So that was kind of that was one experience of 1 year. I think, as I said, 2018. I think obviously 2019. I think obviously with COVID there wasn't much access. But the year after that, I started 8six400 by that point. And now we're in with the team, and we kind of had a little bit more of an access, better passes. And then with United Autosport, we had I had got better passes from that into the paddock and getting into the garages and so forth. And then the year after that with Jota, same again, and I think actually that year Stephen came back with me last year, and we we're kind of like, wow, that I remember jumping over hedges, running through fields to kind of get those ultimate views and viewpoints of the cars going around at night time, right? And here we are kind of mixing it up in the paddock. And now, of course, this year being with Ferrari, it's been an amazing few years. Just kind of looking back and thinking, sleeping in my car, only a few years ago to kind of, still technically still sleeping in my car, I think, when I'm at Le Mans, when I'm tenting it. But actually kind of having that unbelievable access and being, seeing the name on the shirts, having an amazing retail shop there and kind of being in the garages and mixing up is kind of, as I said, it's kind of like dreamland for me.
Yeah, I have to say as well, Peter, to launch a clothing and apparel brand during COVID was either a crazy idea or a spectacularly brave thing to do, but you're making it work. So, credit to you guys.
Thank you.
So, I mean, that must have been really, really scary to do such a thing.
I think it was. I was finding things to do during COVID, like everybody else. And it was about, you don't just launch a brand. You got to have a bit of a game plan. And my game plan was fairly straightforward. Here's the idea of the brand. It's apparel. We've got to do teamwear. That's where it's got to be at. And so and I was very conscious of the fact I wanted it to launch at Le Mans. Hence why working with the United Autosport to do that, which gave us the roots in the sport. But actually, and then it was the sustainability aspect. We actually went into Extreme E with, we still are in Extreme E with Andretti, and we've done a few teams in there with RXR and X44. And it was about me demonstrating again, yes, the teamwear can be made from sustainable recycled waste. It was actually that straightforward and that simple. And then of course, picking that up with Jota with some product was great to kind of move things along. And then of course that conversation was picked up with Ferrari, which was, came, out of the blue, to be honest. But thank God it did.
Yeah, I mean, it is, if nothing else, just an example of a growing British brand making its way in motorsport, and you've had a lot of success so far. Now, like we've touched on already, working with the Ferrari Hypercar Racing Team as well. Yeah. Already, you travel to events and with the team, looking after them and their needs, and so what is it you actually get to on the really fun side of the racing stuff? Are you actually in the garage as well, or are you sort of in the back managing orders, or what do you do from a day-to-day basis?
That's
there with
left
them?
to other people more responsible than I that do all of that. No, I mean, if there's one thing I've learned in motor racing, is about relationships. Having good relationships, and I like to think that we have a good relationship with Ferrari, the Hypercar team. And so yes, I've got to go to all the races from Sebring all the way through to Monza, the last race we've just had a few weeks ago. It's kind of meeting the team, getting to know the drivers, understanding their needs in the sense of what they like, what they don't like about team kit, the fit, the styles, all these sorts of things. And kind of, at the end of the day, these guys are the ones who've got to wear it. It's got to look the part, but it's got to have functionality to it as well. To deliver a team kit of the size that we did in the time frame we did was down to really the team that we have behind us. It's a lot of fun. I mean, I'm not going to lie, sort of to go to these races and be in what I regard as like the holy grail area of being in the garages and in the Ferrari hospitalities and stuff is where it's at. I mean, it is the coolest place to be. But you've got a picture there of winning Le Mans, having been to Le Mans as a fan and having worked there, on some occasions, to have your logo on the side of the car and win Le Mans is dreamland for me personally. It was very emotional. It was a very emotional weekend. It was exhausting. I have to put a lot of credit down to my business partner Nigel, who was running the retail shop at Le Mans. If anyone saw it, and he's the rock of the brand of the company. To be honest with you, and it was exhausting. I made it so that we all camped at Le Mans. We didn't stay in fancy hotels and do all of that sort of thing.
The full experience.
The full experience, man. We had camper vans, tents, all the gear, and we just every morning we got up and did our job, and we were there for nearly 2 weeks. And by the end of it, to win at Le Mans, it was a very big emotional roller coaster ride. It was a lot of hard work paid off, thanks to Ferrari and the great job that they did. But I was in the garage area when the 51 car came in. And to sort of to have the engine not start again, and then kick into place and see all the I just remember all the crowd just going quiet, and then the car roared up again. They went crazy, and then you just kind of knew this is meant to be, and it was for me one of the sort of dream stories of motorsport. But to be part of that was something incredibly special.
Yeah, it's certainly. You're making me jealous now. It certainly sounds like you got a premium behind the scenes view of everything, and I guess you can kind of you can call yourselves as well as a Le Mans winning company, I suppose, as well.
I think
if that's not stretching it too far.
Yeah. I mean, as I said, the logo's on the car. It crossed the line, so why not? And I think this is the nice thing is, it's not just working with Ferrari. For me, it's a kind of it's a fantastic day every day, but it's getting to know the fans as well. I think we obviously integrate with the Scuderia fan group, the Instagram pages, the Facebook page, and so forth, and we get personal messages from them. Which for me is great to sort of have that interaction with the fans. I am a fan, but to have that interaction with them is great. We get sent pictures and all this sort of stuff from them. And the Ferrari fans, they're the best fans in the world. There are some serious fans out there, and they like what we're doing, I guess. So it's been a hell of a journey, kind of working with them.
Yeah. Well, it certainly sounds good. Anyway, certainly the history of just how far 8six400 has come in the past couple of years, overcoming COVID, surviving, growing, and everything. So, what does now the future hold for the company? What are you planning on the horizon?
Well, we have 24 to get through as well. Which is, the plans we have for that are very exciting. We're going to sort of step up our brand engagement, I think, a lot more, and try and relate back to the fans as best we can, and give them something that they want and have that much more interaction, and to essentially bring them closer to what our world, our racing life. But we're also talking to other teams. I think it's actually opened more doors for us to say, look, more team partnerships, more opportunities. And I am a massive fan of the WEC, kind of the WEC Endurance Championship. I think the teams that are coming in for next year, Lamborghini, BMW, there's some fantastic teams, and it's going to make great competition. These hypercars are something else to watch. So when you've got, Alpine kind of coming in as well with the Peugeots and stuff, it's going to make great racing, I think. But it's great for WEC. This endurance championship is growing and growing, and we've got, I think, now 8 races next year. So it's where Formula One is fantastic, and it's a huge spectacle. What kind of else is out there? And I would WEC has to be in number 2 in terms of the purest racing fans kind of option.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of aspects to follow, and it has, like you say, a very passionate fan base. Does the World Endurance Championship, and well, for those who were just hearing about you and the company's exploits, and they want to know more about. Just checking out the merch basically, and finding out more about what's on offer. How can people go and check it out? Do they need to be at a racetrack to do that?
If they're at a racetrack, they will find us, I'm sure. But if you jump online to 8six400.co.uk, you'll find the website there. All the Ferrari products, the new winners tee is now re-released as well now. And it's been interesting, right? Because you have to have that balance about the amount of product that you produce against the amount what you think you're going to sell as well. But I mean, we've been selling out of so much product, but again, that's a good thing. It's kind of putting new product back out there. And now we're right in the middle of designing and finishing up the 2014 kit, which is, for me, it's kind of really exciting and very cool to kind of get that kind of going to get out there for next year.
Yeah. What's been the best seller then for your company so far? I mean, I love a good cap. I suppose most people do.
The cap's always the best seller. I mean, the team cap is cool, and then the individual drivers caps, which came along, that was a sort of a request by the drivers that they wanted their own cap with their own signature and stuff on there. So that's 6 caps we did. They've all sold out. But the team tee is probably our biggest seller. But I'm really like proud of the 499 collection. It's the 499 is obviously the car, but that's kind of that's been a great seller as well. It's great quality product as well. But this is I think it's just a sort of very simple kind of cool collection that very lifestyle driven.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. I mean, I've had a look on the website already, and there's like you say, a lot to check out. And I mean, I was also interested in just seeing from the website, at least, just how much of the considering how much of the products you said is made from recycled materials, what it actually looks like up close as well, because I'm sure a lot of people are going to be quite curious about that. And
but I mean, there is no point making something from sustainable recycled waste if it's not a quality product. That's not sustainable in its own right, and that's not on par with what Ferrari's expectations or ours. So. This is again going back to our sort of expertise, our own experience in saying, right, it's sustainable, but it has to be a quality product. It has to, be wearable. It has to go through the washes and all this sort of stuff. So it is. I put my hand up and say, yeah, everything that we've designed there is as a quality product, and I would say worth the money that people are paying for it.
Yeah, and as I say, you well into a very heavily competitive marketplace with so many international brands. I'm sure we all know, the biggest brands come to mind, and you're competing now at a level for a company which, as you say, just started out a couple of years ago. And you've done marvelously well so far, just to get to, I guess, the top of WEC, really, haven't you, in the World Endurance Championship? So who knows what's in the pipeline? Maybe what's around the corner. Maybe none of us know. Maybe you don't even know. You could get that surprise phone call.
I sort of know, and I have my wish list as well. Look, we absolutely love what we do. I'm loving this partnership. I'm loving this ride. I don't want it to end. I think we have, obviously, Formula One is the pinnacle of motorsport. We'd love to be involved with that a lot more, however we can be. But Ferrari is, it's fair to say the biggest automotive prestigious racing brand in the world of who we're working with at the moment. But we're having a lot of fun working with the LMH team, and in this growth period of WEC as well. And I think we're kind of, we're in a sort of new golden era of endurance racing with the Hypercar series, and I think it's we're quite happy to sort of sit in this for a while and work with some of the teams that we're already talking to already, and kind of make that a go. So what the future holds is it's down to budget, I think, but like most things. But we have big ambitions, and I'm really kind of excited for the next 5-10 years.
Well, it's as I said before, Peter, you're certainly flying the flag for a great British clothing brand in motorsport, and it's good to see a new company really growing in motorsport as well, and it would be good to see exactly where you end up in that next 5 years, if not longer. So and I'm super jealous that you still get to be in the ultra sort of exclusive garage of the Ferrari at places like Le Mans and stuff when they're going through all their tribulations and triumphs and stuff. So yeah. It's
a pinch moment now and then, it really is. But it's a lot of hard work's paid off, I guess. But we to be fair, we wouldn't really be having this conversation if we weren't again beating that sustainability drum. I think it'd be fair to say that's what really kind of got us across the line or on the radar of Ferrari for sure. So I think we're at the sort of the right end of the curve, so to speak, to actually kind of deliver that message better. And I think it's over the next few years, it's going to get even more important to have your product sustainably made. So we're kind of in the right place. Yeah.
What do you think of what it is that fans who might be just checking out your new merchandise for the first time, maybe never have, as I said previously, never have really considered to have gone out of their way to buy sustainable products or recycled merchandise? What do you think? What's their reaction to your clothing and apparel?
I think to be honest, they're not there because it's sustainable. I think they're there because they're Ferrari fans, and they're buying their merch, their replica pieces. First and foremost, it's a love product they're buying. The fact that it's made sustainably ticks a box for them. It's a talking point as well. But and that's really, to say how far it goes. But for us, it's about the volume that we produce as well. So it's again, it's this positive environmental impact that I talk about, which is technically the more we make, the better, the more positive impact we're making. Of course, around all of that are the initiatives that we work with and the initiatives that we want to bring in as well, about taking product back, about recycling old products and things like that. All those things that we want to kind of bring into the brand for the future. So any sort of, give you an example of that is taking any of the old team kit from Ferrari and not just putting it in a plastic bag and sending it off to incineration. No, it's taking that and responsibly recycling it and maybe upcycling it into another product. And that's the kind of the stories that we're going to hopefully be delivering for next year.
Well, it does sound all interesting for fans of sustainable products and even for the average fan as well. It is an interesting way of doing things, and well, you're proving that you're making it work. So, Peter, thank you for coming on Motorsport Radio today, telling us all about the company. And I, for one, have definitely signed up as a bit of a fan as well. So we're all about supporting great British businesses here, however big or small or growing. So it's always great to chat as well, and good to speak to you as well and have a chat about Ferrari.
Thank you. anytime at all, of course.
Cars, bikes, drivers, riders. This is Motorsport Radio.